Morning coffee deck. So, here's the thing. Everybody needs to feel safe and everybody needs love. I tell my kids when they go to school and they encounter another child who's mean or says unkind things, I try to remind them that maybe something's happening in that child's home and that's causing them to act the way that they're acting in school. So the thing I say to them is, whoever is being unkind probably has something going on at home that isn't right. So I try to teach them to treat that child with kindness, even if that kid is not necessarily being kind. Or at least for my kids to just amiably get along with the other kid. When I was growing up, I had this boy in my 5th grade class, and I don't know what his home situation was, but he was very smelly. So, of course, he got picked on. All the other kids were horrible to him, and I tried to stick up for him, and I tried to be friends with him, and I just tried to show him kindness because, it wasn't his fault. I don't know what was going on, but it wasn't his fault. I'm not a saint. I've been mean to people in school. I had a few people that I randomly selected that I was unkind to continuously throughout middle school and high school. I had this one best friend in 4th grade. I loved her. We spent, I don't know if we were together every day, but we were together quite often, and we would just have so much fun. I loved this girl. And for whatever reason, people decided that she was uncool. So, me being a kid, of course, I was worried about my reputation. So, I ended up dropping her as a friend, and then I was mean to her. And I went from loving her and loving being with her to hating her because I was so afraid that people were going to judge me for being friends with her. That is probably one of my biggest regrets of childhood, was dropping a friend because I was worried about what other people were thinking. And then when I got to high school, I liked pretty much almost everybody. And I tried to be friendly to everybody. And it's interesting because there were a few people that I knew that just constantly, I don't want to say, it was like either they were picked on or their friends were like very wishy-washy with them. Like one minute they were friends and the next minute they were like making fun of that person or whatever. But some of those people that I got to know, I tried to find like the real side to that person and to figure out like what made that person special. And for the most part, I was able to see what other people weren't necessarily taking the time to see. And because of that, if you're friendly and you're nice in that way, you're showing them a kindness, so they get to feel loved that way. I'm no saint though. I mean, like I said before, there were a few people that I really took a disliking to, and I was horrible to them. I was mean to them. There weren't that many, but there were a few that I just treated horribly. and I regret it. Hopefully, anyone who has felt that from me has been able to forgive me. But the point of all of this is, if you can, reach out to somebody and say sorry, and remember that usually the people who are hurting are the ones who are unkind. So if we can try to show kindness to the people who are hurting, maybe that's an opportunity that they can learn to feel that love and change their attitudes or behavior, because they're finally getting something that they've been missing this whole time. I truly believe these are the people who are causing violence. These are the people who are shooting random people at school. This is all a desperate act of people who are unloved and for whatever reason have fallen under the radar. So if we can take a little more time to notice the kids that are isolated, to notice the kids that are being picked on, to notice the kids who are constantly getting into trouble, these are all cries for help. If we can just maybe show more compassion to the people who are having a hard time, then maybe some of this violence can be prevented. Just continue to show kindness and continue to show love. Maybe eventually, if we can all learn to do that, then there won't be any more random acts of violence.